So it's Tuesday. That's like 2 for 2 this week, right? Monday, Tuesday, 2 for 2. I hope you guys have had a great Tuesday. It's been pretty good for me. Not gonna lie. It's freaking fabulous weather right now in Oklahoma. It's beautiful. Like, I could have wore my flip-flops today. And I didn't. And I should have. Tomorrow, though. It's like tomorrow. It's supposed to be warmer than today. So that always makes me happy. I don't know why I love warm weather, but I do. I really, really do. Got me some water. Yeah, I've just, had a good day. So, a little rough that first night back when, William's not here and adjusting to sleeping with a pillow instead of a human, and it's all weird and funky, and you toss and you turn. Well, that was me last night. Yay, Diane. But all in all, it was a good night's sleep. So today what I want to talk about is creating your own happiness, like truly creating your own happiness. What do you do in a day that allows you to say, I created my own happiness? I did this. What do you do? Like, what makes you happy? Guys, I don't know what it is. I got this little rash thing going on right here, so I'm going to try not to itch, but if I do, that's what it is. I went out to the work today, and hopefully it's nothing serious, but whatever. I have told you guys, and I don't know if you've ever, if you've caught on, very rarely will I say I've had a bad day, there's so much, I was talking to a kid today and he's like, but Miss Diane, you're happy because you're rich. And I'm like, what do you mean, buddy? I'm not rich. And he's like, but you are, you've got so much money. And I'm like, I don't know where you got that, but okay. No, buddy, I'm not really rich, not financially rich. And he's like, but you're always so happy, so you have to have lots of money. I was already thinking about talking about this, this week. It was already there. And then he kind of compounded on that, like, oh, he thinks I'm happy because I'm rich. So I just looked at him and I said, hey, buddy, do you think money really makes a person happy? And he's like, yeah, I do. Because, you'll never be homeless. You'll always have a home. You'll have food. You can buy whatever you want. You'll have nice cars. And I'm like, okay, that sounds great. But what happens at the end of the day if that all goes away? Like, what happens at the end of the day if you lose all of that? What then? What then? He's like, well, I'm not going to lose it because I have money. Right, but if you also have money and you have the mentality that you can spend money to buy whatever to make you happy, then you may spend all your money. I mean, you would have to be like a multimillionaire to be able to afford all this, right, kiddo? He's like, no, you just need a little bit. I said, okay, what if, by chance, tomorrow you woke up and you could not use your hands or your feet? And all the stuff that you just purchased, your car, your little handheld games and all the things were pointless because you couldn't do it. What then? And he looked at me and he's like, well, why wouldn't I be able to use my hands and my feet? I said, well, think about it. I mean, what if something bad was to happen and you were to become paralyzed or you got some sickness that created medical issues? What if all of that happened? Would you say that you're no longer happy? He's like, well, I wouldn't be happy. Oh, why not? Well, because then I couldn't play with all my stuff. And I'm like, oh, so stuff makes you happy. He's like, yeah. He's like, what makes you happy, Miss Diane? And I looked at him and I said, buddy, that's a great question. Because, every morning I'm happy when I roll out of bed. Like, it literally, as soon as my eyes open and I'm like, oh, Lord, I gotta go to work. I'm like, thank you for another night. Thank you for another sleep. Like, I wake up being happy. And I wake up and I manifest in that. And I don't know what started that in me. I don't know if it's going through the trauma that I went through and figuring out that I could live happy even though bad happened. I don't know what it was, guys. I really couldn't tell you. I know that I almost died. At some point when I had my tonsillectomy, I broke a bleeder and it was not a pretty scene. I don't know if that being so close to death, I don't know what it was. But I can tell you, even in the midst of the worst part of my life, right? I still, hold on, guys, this is work. Sorry, I'm just about done. Anyways, where was I at? Oh, even in the midst of my bad, like my horrible lifetime, like things that were happening as an adult, okay, as an adult. When I was younger, I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember a lot of that. I don't know if my mind blocked it out. But as an adult, even through my darkest times, I can honestly tell you that every day I had to find something to be happy about. Something to motivate me. Like, okay, what was my purpose? What did I want in life? What was my goal? What did I want to do to make my situation better? And it took time. Like, it took a lot of time to figure that out. Definitely. But maybe that was what created me the situation or thought process daily to say, what's going to make me happy? Okay. I'll be honest, for the longest time, because I've worked forever, for as long as I can remember, I've kind of worked. And so, sorry, we had some stuff going on at work. I just needed to take care of that. But, for the longest time, I let a lot of things hold me back from being happy. My mom and I were talking the other day and she's like, you've really gained a lot of your weight during this period of your life. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But, during that period of life, I can remember not wanting to wake up at times, like, oh, if I could just sleep. I didn't want to die. Never was I suicidal. So please don't think that. But I always had that, can I just sleep through today? Because if I sleep, then nothing will happen. It'll be a good day and life will go on. Even in that thought process, I had something to create my happiness. My happiness was, if I could just sleep all day, things would be great, right? So what happens is I manifested and I would lay in that thought process and I caught on to things weren't happening on their own. So I needed to do something because I am trying to make me happy. So with that being said, with time, everything happened the way it did. And oddly enough, right after I left that relationship, I lost some weight, like there it went. Didn't last long. No, not at all. But I was still happy because I was not letting negativity hold me down, I didn't have a lot of negative going on in my life. My life was pretty good, around that time was also the first time that I miscarried, like even in that bad negativity, that bad time, that bad situation, I can remember laying there thinking, at least I have tomorrow and there's a reason that happened, be it out of my control. And from that point, I've never been one to beat myself up over that. I know a lot of people that struggle, if they have a miscarriage, they're bad. It's their fault. I never did that for some reason. I always thought of it as, I am religious. I always thought of it, God knew what he was doing when that happened. He knew what he was doing when that happened. And so if you go from there and just from that period of time, I can remember even today, like I said, even today, every day when I wake up, I will be able to decide or think about something that will make me happy. Like this morning, I woke up and I'm like, you know what? If I can just make it to treatment team and we can talk about this kid and try to figure out solution, like that would make me happy. Okay. So I'm talking to my kid today and, we came to the realization and I questioned him, like, what if? So then I had to think about it myself. What if today, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, I was not able to use my hands or my feet? What if I wasn't able to use my eyes? What if those things, disappeared? What if they were no longer functionable? And I had to think about what my answer to that would be. And I can truly tell you, it would be hard. I'm sure. I have a brother. He's passed away now, but he was paralyzed and in a wheelchair, and he did amazing things in life. Being in his position, he never let that get him down. And I feel like that I would be the same way. I know that it would be shitty, but I know that if I'm still living through that there's a reason to find happiness. If I wake up tomorrow and I can't see, there's a reason I can still be happy, because though I might not be able to see anything, I can hear the birds and I can hear my mom's voice and I can talk to William on the phone. I don't need any of my eyesight to be able to do that. I could still hear my grandbaby laugh, and I could, still hear all the things. I could still do therapy even if I was blind. If I was paralyzed, I could still do things, and what would have to happen is that I have to, and I have had to create my happiness. I've had to create my happiness. Am I saying I'm happy all the time? Not at all. Do I have bad days? Definitely. Do I expect everybody to have a perfect day? No. But at the end of the day, when you close your eyes, you have to say, am I working on me? Am I creating my happiness? Because nobody can create your happiness. Nothing can create your happiness. You have to be happy here, inside, and in your heart and soul before you can create happiness anywhere else. It's hard to... It's hard to give what you don't have. Now, I've seen some people that aren't happy in life, like just in general. Like, they don't have any compassion or anything that's, creating them happiness or anything. And they're just kind of, I don't want to say Debbie Downers, but they are kind of Debbie Downers. They don't have that feed or that little for life. But yet they can go out and they can create a fake facade and make that happen. And I wonder, when we talk about those, like, how challenging is that for them? I've not personally been able to talk to anybody about that. How do you act or create this vision of being happy when, you go home at night and you're just like numb? There's no happiness. How does that work? So the gist of this is that it's easier to share and display and to talk about and to live life if you can truly find what makes you happy. And I know that in my heart of hearts, what makes me happy. I love life right now. I love what I do. I love my career. I love my position. I love where things are happening. I love that I get to be here and do what I get to do, And so, therefore, I've just let that light guide me in creating my happiness, And I try my damnedest not to let anybody in around me. Like, I have this huge bubble. Like, I don't know that this room expands enough to show you my bubble, but I have this huge bubble. And y'all, I don't let people in very easy. I do not. And it's because I've been burned so much. Life has taught me. And I don't need anybody consuming or sucking out of that life from me. So I have great solid boundaries. And I just don't let people around that are going to break that down, that don't want to respect my happiness, my lust for life, It's not that I'm always like, yeah, la, 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 la. But I don't complain really about, I'll say I hurt. I will say that, like my back hurts. But then I'm like, I need to really just shut up because people have worse things going on in life and I'm pretty happy and I get to go do what I want to do and, things like that. So I generate my own happiness. I always try to generate my own happiness. Like today, coming home, I was like, man, I really don't want to go get a Coke and I really don't want to drink Dr. Pepper. Something's going on with me right now. I really want water. So I stopped and I got my ice. And I am happy with it. Like, it's good. And I could be upset, I guess, because I had to stop and get ice and I have an ice maker. But you know what? There's things out there that make that happen. So why be mad about it? Be happy that I got ice, right? But yeah, I choose every day consciously to be happy, to create the positive thoughts and to debunk negativity, like seriously, that's just something that I live for because it's so much easier for me. I'm not stressed. I'm not crying. I'm not pulling my hair out. I'm not losing weight because I'm depressed. I'm not sleeping all the time. Like my body functions better when I stay on this path. And in a relationship, like, okay, so I'll just put it out there. Like the other night, I'm paying bills and I pay all the bills but 3. Okay? All the bills but 3. For next month, like that we're due in March. I pay all the bills but 3. Right? And I'm like, woohoo! And here goes William. He's like, oh, I should have worked harder. I should have done this. I should have done that. Mind you, we ain't poor. We're not rich, but we're not poor. And we now have every check in March free to like do whatever, to pay those other bills or whatever. And I'm like, really? I thought we did pretty good. And, I couldn't get negative with him. I couldn't go there. I did for a minute and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that. And then I'm like, what the hell? He's mad because we paid next month's. Oh, Lord, what have I created? Because that man was not this man when we met. Like, I did some of that, and I'm pretty proud of that. But the problem is now, like, he's disappointed that we haven't paid next year April bills. I don't know. He's crazy with it. But it makes him happy to be out of, to have everything paid. It made me happy to know that we had paid all that we could. And we still spent a crap ton of money in the last 2 weeks going to Vegas and coming home. And it's whatever, William. Just whatever. I didn't want his negativity. And so today we're talking about it. I'm like, I really think that was a bit much. Like, he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. He's like, you're right. We went to Vegas. I was off for 2 weeks. Like, we enjoyed and we was happy and we had fun. And all our bills are paid for next month. So stop it. Stop it. And he, he's the best because he bounced back and he's like, you're right. I'm sorry. But I could, have easily gotten down with him and be like, oh man. But there was no need, it wouldn't have gotten me anything. It wouldn't have paid those 3 bills any sooner. It wouldn't have, changed the situation because, again, it wouldn't have paid the 3 bills any sooner. So yeah, I don't know. I really believe we create our own happiness. And I really believe that if you can't create your own happiness, you really need to dig a little deeper and see what's stopping that. Reach out to a therapist, talk to somebody, see if you can go through and figure out what's holding you back. Like, what's holding you back in life that you can say, I just don't feel happy. Like, what is it? Because once you can do that and dissect what's holding you back from feeling happy, life gets easier. Y'all, I have here, I'll show this piece. I have here student loan debt. Don't care. Oh, well. It'll be there. And if it's not paid when I die, oh, well. That won't be the case. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I could let that hold me back, or I could be like, but it's gotten me to where I am today. So I'm great with it. And that's where I am, you know? So yeah, we choose and we create and we manifest. We do all of the things to create our own happiness. So that's that. Little man today decided after we talked that, you know what? He would still have his brother. That's cool. That would make him happy. He would still have his mom. That would make him happy. Like, we got out of the materialistic stuff that made him happy. And he realized that even if all of that was gone, he would still be happy. You know, he did say if he couldn't hear them, that would make him sad. Sorry, more work. That would make him sad. And, you know, I just had him think about that. So what he's supposed to do, his homework before Saturday is to write down things, not materialistic, okay? Write down relationships or things in his life that make him happy, that created him to be happy, that created the smile to manifest the happiness. You know, that way we can focus on those and keep those in our head and keep those positive thoughts going so that it becomes a trend to think positive, you know, and that's what we'll do. So Saturday I'll revisit with him and we'll go from there. But there you have it. Like, this is a lot of creating happiness, and I'm a happy person, and you already knew that. So I'm going to go ahead and probably record a few more videos here pretty quick and talk about a few different things. And I hope you'll stick around. And please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. That was good. That was good. And I'll be back. Thanks, guys. When I